Alright, so two epic Game 7s are in the books, and first off, the Golden State Warriors defeated the Houston Rockets 103-89. One thing I have to mention real quick is that these playoffs overall have been utterly incredible. The competition is fierce, the trash talking is abundant, and the physicality resembles playoff basketball from 30 years ago. If any old heads are complaining about these playoffs after all we've seen, then to me, it's pretty clear that they are not actually watching the games. Because this should satisfy the appetite of just about any old school fan. Now, one guy who came up huge for the Warriors was Buddy Hield, as he scored 33 points and he made 9 3-point attempts, which is tied for the most 3-pointers in a Game 7 in NBA history. Although he was massive, the game was still relatively pretty close down the stretch, and the final score can be a little bit misleading. Steph Curry got off to a slow start, but he absolutely took over in the fourth quarter, as he finished the game with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. And it wasn't just Steph's shooting, although that was a big help to his team, but it was also key defensive plays and solid rebounds just when his team needed it. I gotta say, can you believe that there was once a time when people said that Steph Curry was not a clutch player? Frankly, that narrative is dead, and it's been dead for a long time at this point. Overall, the Warriors starters carried hard, as they finished with 100 of the Warriors' 103 points in the contest. If you ask me, the Rockets' youth and inexperience was showing down the stretch. Yes, they did a solid job defensively, but they were making plenty of sloppy plays offensively. I just don't think they were ready for the change of pace and physicality in these playoffs. For example, the Golden State Warriors held the Rockets under 90 points twice in this series. In the entire 82-game regular season, the Rockets were held under 90 points only once, which was all the way back in January against the Boston Celtics. Plain and simple, the playoffs are just a different game. And I do think when it comes to the physicality between the regular season and the playoffs, I don't know if I've ever seen a greater difference than what we're seeing in this modern NBA. Frankly, there's not much resistance throughout the regular season, but now in the postseason, the refs are constantly putting away their whistles and letting the players determine the outcome. These playoffs are just different, where physicality, grit, and veteran experience make all of the difference. So from that standpoint, the advantage was going to Golden State from the very beginning. Now the Dubs are moving on, and in the second round, waiting for them is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now get this, the T-Wolves will have home court advantage in the second round as the 6th seed. This is going to be an exciting one, and frankly, I'll be happy with whoever wins. Because whether it's Jimmy Butler or Steph Curry adding to their legacies, or we continue to see the rise of Anthony Edwards, I think it's going to be some exciting headlines either way. Now this obviously was not the only Game 7 of the last couple of days. The Nuggets blew out the Clippers to win the series 120-101. Now let me just shoot straight. Denver showed up with energy, intensity, hustle, and a will to win. Everybody was busting their ass on that side. From Aaron Gordon to Westbrook to Braun, every single guy brought it. On the other hand, the Clippers just looked flat out lethargic and apathetic. I understand that Denver had home court advantage, but it's still disappointing but not surprising to see such a lack of energy and defensive effort from the Clippers in a do-or-die situation. The playoff woes of James Harden just continue to pile up, as he had only 7 points on just 8 shots. He did have 13 assists, but it didn't stop him from being a negative 29 on his plus-minus. And I gotta say, as usual, the defensive effort was just not there from James. I've got a video coming out soon specifically on the long history of Harden's playoff failures. But I gotta say, I'm really sad to see it happen yet again. I want to see him overcome this narrative and theme of his career, but unfortunately, it's another year, another season solidifying this negative reputation. Now, despite the fact that the Denver Nuggets fired their coach 1 week before the playoffs started, they're heading to the second round of the playoffs, where they will be facing their greatest challenge yet, as they'll be taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder, as the top 2 MVP candidates square off in an epic matchup. I do think OKC is overpowered in this matchup and certainly has the advantage from the top to bottom of their roster. But with that being said, Denver is playing as well as they have throughout the entire season. I gotta say, I'm really excited about the Western Conference side of this playoff bracket. Because like I said before, I'm stoked about whatever the outcome is going to be of the Warriors and Minnesota Timberwolves. And then, when you look at the Denver Nuggets and the OKC Thunder, this is going to be one of those situations where I think it's really going to affect how we view the MVP race in hindsight. All year long, it's been a two-man race between SGA and Nikola Jokic, and now they get to settle the score, as the two guys are battling it out for a trip to the Western Conference Finals. It's going to be must-see TV, and I will certainly be covering more playoff games moving forward. So what do you guys think? How are you enjoying the playoffs so far? And do you have any predictions for these second round matchups? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.